Now on the CTV News at 5, Freedom Convoy organizers have to wait until the fall to learn their fate. Plus, Nikayoko Japanese Garden takes part in Communities in Bloom. And a major milestone celebrating 50 years of the Lethbridge Senior Citizens Organization.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. A 37-year-old Lethbridge man previously charged with sexual assault is facing more charges after more victims came forward to police. In early May, LPS were alerted to a social media post alleging multiple women had been sexually assaulted by the same man. Now, that post was made by a third party, not one of the alleged victims. Police say through their investigation, a 35-year-old female said she went to the man's home to socialize back in April of 2019, and after accepting a drink from him, became unwell and was allegedly sexually assaulted. After a news release was issued, police say 3 more victims have been identified. Landon Byron Kern Waters is facing 3 additional counts of sexual assault. Police say the investigation is ongoing and urge anyone who may have been victimized to contact them. And Lethbridge police have charged a 51-year-old man in connection with an incident where a woman was allegedly being followed by him in a vehicle and then attempted to get her inside. Police say on June 25th, a 47-year-old woman was walking in the 1000 block of 3rd Avenue North when she saw an unknown man in a truck drive past her. Well, that man circled back, got out of the vehicle, and attempted to solicit her. Police say the woman continued walking and the man became angry and continued following her. The female went to a nearby business to find help and the man fled. James Alfred Finch of Wetaskiwin has been charged. Police believe there may be more victims and have released a photo of Finch and his truck to anyone who has been victimized so that they can please contact police. A Lethbridge man convicted of robbing the same bank twice in 2 months is serving federal prison time. The CIBC in the 500 block of 13th Street North in Lethbridge was robbed in March of 2023 and then again in April. 53-year-old Jamie Gerald Bagu pled guilty to the robberies. He was sentenced to 7 years behind bars and given a firearms prohibition. And a Lethbridge man has been sentenced to time behind bars and a firearm prohibition for making guns. In June of 2023, LPS got a tip someone was selling drugs out of the window of a ground floor condo unit in the 300 block of the 5th Street South. Now, when officers searched the building, they discovered a significant quantity of weapons, including a rifle, crossbow, airsoft pistols, homemade guns, along with drugs and cash. 65-year-old Richard Lattermoyle was sentenced to 30 months in jail and a firearm prohibition. 2 leaders of the so-called Freedom Convoy protest are scheduled to be sentenced on October the 7th. Tamara Leach from Medicine Hat and Chris Barber from Swift Current were found guilty of mischief for their roles in the 2020 protest against pandemic health measures. The convoy blocked downtown streets of Ottawa for several weeks. The Crown is seeking a prison sentence of 7 years for Leach and 8 years for Barber, who was also found guilty of counseling others to disobey a court order. All right, Danielle Savoni is here, and so is the weekend, Danielle.
We made it,
Oh,
Jackie
we
and
did.
everybody. All right, so let's talk about the weekend. Well, the weekend looks a little on the cooler side compared to what, we should be getting for this time of year. It will be fairly dry in comparison to what's happening further to the north. So for the far south, we're looking at mainly dry conditions as we go through tonight and through the weekend. We may see a little bit of instability here and there. We'll talk more about that coming up. But at this point, 25 degrees, we are seeing a good chunk of sunshine and temperatures in those higher 20s right now for Medicine Hat and lower 20s for Brooks. Milk River sitting at 28, Pincher Creek at 24. Temperatures will be a little cooler than this in many communities. I'll show you that coming up for the weekend, Jackie.
All right, thank you, Danielle. Well, the province and town of Coaldale have partnered on a rail expansion. The new track will help support the new cold storage facility in the town. Quinn Keenan has more.
The new cold facility in Coaldale has recently started operation. Soon, the cold storage facility will benefit from a new rail extension. The new extension will connect the main CPKC line to help bring goods in and out.
From day one, our partners in Coaldale and Alberta have believed in New Cold and believed in the potential of this work and the long-term value it can bring, not just for our organization, but for the future of food and agriculture in this region.
The roughly 3-kilometer extension is jointly funded by the province, town, and New Cold. The province contributed $3,475,000 to the nearly $8 million project. That funding came through the Strategic Transportation Infrastructure Program.
I'm so proud of the work that Minister Dreeshen, the town of Coaldale, and Vesta Alberta has done to be able to land this deal, to be able to bring forward this investment for the STIP funding in order to be able to actually get this project done.
Coaldale Town Council and administration worked quickly to get the new rail line approved. It only took 7 days to get approval for the extension. The town believes this showcases how business-friendly they are.
This project secured more than just rail infrastructure. It secured hundreds of construction jobs, 60 full-time jobs, long-term economic potential, and has sent a clearer message to the investment world. Coaldale is open for business.
It's the first time this kind of provincial funding has been used to help build a rail line. With how quickly the project came together, it could be used on similar projects in the future.
It's just another strategic way of using transportation economic corridor budget dollars to make sure that we can do exactly what's in the name, which is to create economic corridors, to create job opportunities.
The first car should be using the extension by the end of the year. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Coaldale.
The province is giving almost $115 million to rural communities, and the money will be used to support roads, bridges, and water infrastructure projects. 86 projects will receive funding from the province. The money will be used to help maintain and improve roads, bridges, and community airports. It will also help with the construction of wastewater treatment and disposal facilities. The province is making it a priority to help improve the infrastructure in small communities.
These projects may not be the flashiest that we have going on in our province, but they are of critical importance. Water infrastructure is, of course, critical for communities across the province, and ensuring that our wastewater systems are up to date and have the capacity to handle population growth is of paramount importance.
The City of Brooks is receiving $8.9 million for a mechanical membrane bioreactor wastewater treatment plant as part of the funding. A boil water advisory has been issued for a Bible camp in Waterton Lakes National Park. Alberta Health Services issued the advisory July the 17th after samples were collected of water supplying the facility found coliform bacteria. HS says all water used for drinking, brushing teeth, cooking, and washing food must be brought to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute before use. The advisory will remain in place until August the 5th. Nika-Yoko Japanese Garden is taking part in the 31st edition of Communities in Bloom. The nationally recognized program celebrates community enhancement through environmental sustainability, garden development, and cultural heritage preservation. Today, 2 judges with Communities in Bloom visited the garden to evaluate the space under the National Special Attractions category. The garden is aiming to receive a rating of 1 to 5 blooms with the potential for bronze, silver, or gold distinction within the 5 bloom category.
I think it's absolutely exciting. I would definitely say Nika-Yoko is a hidden gem. I've lived in Alberta my entire life, and I wasn't even aware of it. And now to be here, to hear the stories and to see the personal impact it's had on this community is amazing.
And to be considered for a category in the special attractions category, to us is just mind-boggling, because we all know how wonderful it is here. We all kind of take advantage of it, but to have other people recognize it and see it for what it truly is.
The final results will be released at a national ceremony in Ontario in October. A local seniors organization in Lethbridge is marking a major milestone this weekend. The Lethbridge Senior Citizens Organization is celebrating its 50th anniversary Saturday. The organization opened in July of 1975 as a registered charity with the concept of service to seniors by seniors. It was established as a multi-purpose senior center, offering services and activities for social interaction. The executive director says the organization has continued to grow its programming and is already looking ahead to the next 50 years.
It's become so much more than a senior center. That's obviously a big part of what the LSCO is, but it's become a resource hub for older adults in the community. We have our Elder Abuse Resource Network, we have our system navigators, we have our Meals on Wheels program. It's kind of a one-stop shop for everything that you need to thrive as an older adult, and as well as their families. So I'm really proud of the LSCO. I'm really excited to see how it grows and evolves and changes with the community.
To celebrate, the LSCO is hosting a golden anniversary block party tomorrow at Civic Field. The free event will feature music, food, a community garage sale, and more. The party runs from 10 until 4. Community Animal Services is gearing up to host its first ever cat microchipping clinic tomorrow. The event will allow pet owners to get their cats and dogs microchipped. The city says microchips are a safe, reliable way to help reunite lost pets with their families. The event will run from 11 until 2 tomorrow at the Lethbridge Animal Shelter. And this year's Minor Days out in Colehurst are set to get underway this evening. This year's celebration coincides with the town's 30th anniversary as an incorporated town. Miners Days will feature an open house at the fire department tonight, along with the annual parade and pancake breakfast tomorrow morning. The event will shift in the afternoon with different kids' activities and live music that is planned. Now, the town says Miners Days is a long-standing annual community celebration that honors its coal mining heritage. A full list of events and times can be found on the town's website. We are going to talk about the weekend forecast with Danielle Savoni right after this next break. Plus, does technology track your steps or how much you sleep? Well, we can tell you when it's hurting more than helping you.
Okay, your Skywatch weather camera facing west for you. And you know, in the far south here, we're getting some really nice stuff in comparison to what central Alberta and even around the Calgary area are getting. So good stuff. Temperatures have warmed up somewhat. We're going to cool down somewhat for the weekend. I'll show you temperatures in just a moment. 19 is the daytime high so far in Calgary. So the cool down has already started in Calgary and it's starting to track towards the far south. So we will certainly notice a difference in the far south for tomorrow and Sunday. But at this point, temperatures have been lovely. 26 degrees in Lethbridge, a little above where we should be, 28. So high 20s for Medicine Hat and through Milk River area. And then Pincher Creek is sitting at 26. So you can see things have certainly cooled down here though. 17 Rocky Mountain House and Banff, 15 in Calgary, and that's on its way for the weekend to the far south, thanks to this cold front that is swiping through. So this cold front is sparking up some rainfall, also even potentially some thunderstorm activity as we head through the next couple of hours for areas basically north of Calgary. We may see a little bit of that activity along the Trans-Canada, but that's tonight as opposed to during the day hours. So for the evening, it should be quite nice in most communities. What's happening is we're going to get a ridge of high pressure build in next week, but until then, this is going to slump a bit. It's going to open us up for that cold front to swipe through for the weekend. Temperatures will be on the cooler side for the weekend, and then this ridge will start to make its way in later on Monday. So we'll certainly notice a difference in most communities by Tuesday with regards to temperature. Futurecast, I'm going to play this through for the whole weekend so you can get an idea of what to expect. And I think the key thing to look at with this is that we are looking at the potential for a little bit of moisture, the potential for some thunderstorm activity, but most of that in all communities in the south should be mainly in the night hours. So the days are nice on the cooler side, and at some points a little cloudy. So for this evening, we have some thunderstorm potential tracking down the Trans-Canada and through Brooks, and at nighttime through the Medicine Hat area, there's that potential as well. Lethbridge should remain in the clear from all of this, but we are looking at some cloud cover pushing in for tomorrow morning. So mainly cloudy in the morning and then clearing in the afternoon. So a good chunk of sunshine out there for tomorrow. It's just that temperatures won't be that warm. And then again, most of that activity is a nighttime thing. So this is a look at Saturday night, tomorrow night, of course, closer to Calgary, along the Trans-Canada, closer to the Medicine Hat area. But again, it's a nighttime thing, so the day should be fairly nice. And you should be able to do some things outdoors. You just might need more than just a tank top and flip-flops. Okay, and then as we head through the weekend or through Sunday, we have some activity tracking down Highway 2. Again, that's closer to the supper hours here. But then we have it moving into most communities in the nighttime hours, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat. Okay, so East Kootenay area for this evening, small chance of an isolated shower, 13 degrees overnight, holding on to some cloud cover, but also some sunny periods tomorrow, gusts of around 50 kilometers per hour, so a windy day tomorrow, and a high of 27. Christmas Pass area, 10 overnight, should be a fairly quiet night, small chance of some isolated showers tomorrow, but less likely of seeing that. Most likely just seeing some cloudy periods and a high of 22. And then we have the potential for a nighttime thunderstorm or at least just some showers in the Medicine Hat area. And then that arrives back again tomorrow night, so Saturday night by 11 p.m. 26 degrees and mainly sunny for the day though. 23 for Lethbridge for tomorrow and 21 for Sunday. Really just some cloud cover on Saturday morning, and then overall it looks pretty stable for the weekend, just a little on the cooler side as you can see.
Alberta Health Services is reporting another 27 confirmed cases of measles in our province. 12 of the new cases are in the South Health Zone, where there is now a total of 891 since the measles outbreak began in March. The North Zone has 14 new cases, Calgary 1. The vast majority of Alberta's cases are children. Health officials continue to urge residents to get 2 doses of the MMR vaccine to prevent the highly transmissible disease. Well, many of us use wearable devices to track our health or sleep habits, and those can have benefits, but for some, it can also become an obsession, hurting our sleep more than it helps. ABC's Dr. Tara Narula has that story.
Millions of Americans are turning to devices to keep track of everything from heart rates to steps and even sleep trackers.
I like the data. I think that was like the big draw. Sleep has always mattered a lot to me, and I would always get a little stressed if I knew I wasn't going to sleep enough.
For 29-year-old Nancy Chen, a marketing manager who moonlights as a boxing instructor, the device became a problem of its own.
I think it was this cycle of I knew that my sleep score was going to be bad, and then I was kind of like stressed about it. It was just like too much data.
For people like Nancy, the constant monitoring led to a condition known as orthosomnia.
Orthosomnia refers to individuals for whom tracking may have become or is potentially stressful. The information they receive stresses them out, and then it causes them to struggle the next night.
And the harder they try to control their sleep, the worse it gets. While health trackers can have many benefits, Dr. Robbins says those triggered tend to be perfectionists or type A personalities.
The thing about sleep is it's not always going to be perfect every night. Sleep is a function of all of the things that we experience in a typical day, and some of that might be stressful.
While there are many benefits to health trackers, if you're someone experiencing stress from them, Dr. Robbins recommends putting your tracker in a drawer and returning to some healthy sleep strategies.
Unwinding before bedtime, calming your mind, using some breathing activities, journaling before bedtime, a warm shower, filling the moments before we want to be falling asleep with healthy, relaxing activities.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, the Little League bat flip that ended up in court. Lethbridge Bulls were back in action last night, taking on the Regina Red Sox. A tight game, but the Bulls came out on top with a 5-4 victory. Medicine Hat Mavericks were on the road in Moose Jaw for a tilt against the Miller Express. Mavericks would come out with a 16-10 win. Brooks Bombers, they had another doubleheader against the Fort McMurray Giants. A good night for the Bombers. They recorded 2 wins. And tonight, the Bulls welcome the Giants to Spitz Stadium, while the Bombers are on the road in Okotoks. The Mavs, they are back at home and gearing up for a doubleheader against the Red Sox at Athletic Park. Now, also happening at Spitz Stadium, the 2025 Canadian Junior Little League Championships. 5 teams are competing in the national championship, including the Junior Bulls. Currently, Team Ontario and Team Quebec are tied with 2 wins each, while the Junior Bulls sit in third with 1 win. The winning team will go on to represent Canada at the World Junior Little League Series in Taylor, Michigan. The championship wraps up next Wednesday. A natural controversy in Little League Baseball, all centered around a celebration on the field. A parent went to court to challenge an umpire's call, and the judge sided with the dad. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has that story.
This is the moment 12-year-old Little Leaguer Marco Rocco hit a home run during a recent New Jersey State tournament game. He then flips his bat, tossing it into the air to celebrate. The umpire calling foul, ejecting Marco and suspending him for a game for unsportsmanlike conduct.
He had to sit on the bleachers with his mom. He was visibly upset.
The suspension would mean Marco would miss a crucial playoff game, losing the chance to make the Little League World Series. So his father took action, going to court, seeking a temporary restraining order that would allow Marco to play.
There's no amount of money in the world that's going to bring back whether or not he plays in the game tonight that starts in about 5 hours.
Little League argued the umpire's call should be final. Otherwise, it could lead to parents running to court each time they disagree with a call. Little League saying, as all youth sports officiating continues to face challenges and abuse by parents and fans, and as we face a nationwide shortage of umpires and volunteers, it is more important than ever that we are supportive of Little League umpires. But the judge pointed to promotional videos posted by Little League, showing players bat flipping in celebration without consequence. An attorney for Marco's family arguing there's no specific rule against it on the books. In the end, the judge ruling Little League has not been consistent, calling the umpire's call against Marco arbitrary and capricious, allowing Marco to once again take the field.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, the story of a BC teen who gave it her all and brought home the gold. We've got Sarah's story next. Now to a BC teen who is kicking down barriers. Her determination in karate hasn't just earned her medals, it's earned her national recognition. Adam Swatsky reports.
From my routine.
Well, Sarah Nolan is completing her morning routine.
Brush, do hair, eat breakfast.
The 15-year-old is anticipating her daily activities.
Busy, busy, busy.
And if her daughter's schedule is not jam-packed full of possibilities,
then she'll find something to keep her busy.
Perhaps practicing her favorite Disney song, knitting something cozy, or coloring something cheerful.
She has to work so hard just to do the mundane things.
Yet Down syndrome never stopped Sarah when she was waiting in the lobby for her siblings to learn karate and started imitating their moves.
The policy is integration, not segregation.
So Sarah started training with Richard Mosdahl, who says her positivity earned the respect of the whole class.
That internal motivation to want to keep trying was really amazing.
Over the next 7 years, Sarah practiced daily and eventually placed so well at the regional and provincial level against athletes without disabilities that she recently earned an opportunity to compete at the Nationals.
It was kind of scary at first.
It was scary at first, Sarah says, as she wore a new karate uniform that her fellow classmates had pooled their money to buy for her and began performing.
You could see her heart was beating, absolutely.
But Sarah overcame the mental and emotional pressures, completed the kata routine with accuracy, confidence, and grace, and won gold.
Yay! Way Sarah!
Lots of high fives. I saw a little tear in her eye, and boy, tears came in my eyes.
Sarah's next step is training to qualify for Team Canada with the hopes of competing at the Paralympics in 2028. But before that, she's crediting her karate community and family for her success and offering this advice.
Stay confident and do what I have to do.
Be confident and do what you have to do, Sarah says, and you too can overcome whatever adversity is facing you. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.